I'm gonna tell you why. This is really our only option for any MMA games on next gen consoles, on PS4 or Xbox One. This game to me is not really that good. I'm gonna tell you why as I show you my career modes here. I have these career modes, and the animations in this game are just way too repetitive. Sometimes you'll see the same move. There's ground transition, like when they flip, when you're on top of your opponent and he flips you over. Sometimes that'll happen over and over and over and over again in one fight, and it looks exactly identically the same. The takedown, the single leg takedown, they take the same amount of hop steps backwards, and then they go down in the same angle. It's just kind of ridiculous. The game is not really that good because the animations are too repetitive. And one problem I have with this game is some of the moves don't do enough damage, and some of the moves do too much. Like when the opponent is laying on the ground and you're on top, and then you get up and the opponent's still laying down and you lunge forward for that heavy strike to a downed opponent, it doesn't do that much damage. I did that over and over and over and over again in a fight, and it didn't do much damage at all, and I had this actual fighter here. I did this career fight twice. The results were he lost to the same exact move in the second round twice, and it seems like almost seems rigged a little bit, because whenever they want your opponent to win, it seems like your moves don't do as much damage as they should. It's like I don't like the striking on here. I think the striking is good if you have a boxer, but if you have anything else, they throw those short hooks when the opponent is far away from you. The jabs are really terrible. They throw these really short jabs, without even straightening the arm. Striking is not good in this game. When you land them, it's good, but it's like this game just isn't very good. I'm a little bit surprised that EA made 3 of these and this one is still lacking. These animations, the fights look exactly the same in my career mode. Now, if you can do the same moves, but I don't think it should look identical. They need various animations for each moves. That way, it looks different, it looks more realistic. This is more like, the takedowns look the same every time you do it, and man, is this guy's wrestling high level. It just seems like those ground punches when you lunge forward don't hardly do any damage. You can see him hit the opponent really, really, really hard, but it's like it doesn't do much to him. It doesn't make sense. But all of a sudden you'll get hit with these little punches and your guy will be just completely rattled.
This next guy has incredible
but there's a lot of things about this game that just isn't quite right.
And of course, technique.
To be fair, I don't think anyone has made a really good MMA game yet at all. The EA MMA game they made that was not UFC based, that game particularly,
so here he is, folks. This fighter has
the ground game was really poor in that game. This game, I don't like the submission system. It's a little dumb. The mini game is kind of, I think they could come up with something a little better than that. So this game definitely has some problems. The main thing would be the 2 things I talked about first, which is the repetitive animation, which makes the game get old fast. When you see the same, when the takedown looks identical every time it's done, and the clinch, everything looks exactly the same way, so you can take an opponent down 7 times in a fight. It's going to look exactly the same every time. The same hop steps back, the same spin on that single. And then you have those the transition is not bad in this game. I like the ground transition. That's probably about as good as you can make it in an AI-based game, for an AI. But I'm back in this here. It seems like they set your career up. They want you to win certain fights. The opponent gets knocked out easy. Doesn't really block when you throw heavy punches for some reason, and then when they want you to lose or want you to have a close fight, your punches don't do damage like they're supposed to. You know, I don't like the stamina system in this game either. I think this game needs a lot of work. Hopefully, you know, UFC 4, you know, should have been out in January. Not that EA ever said that it was coming out in January, but that was kind of their pattern every 2 years, 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully they're taking more time with it and fixing it and making it a really, really good game. So that it's closer to being an epically awesome game. It's not easy for me to continue to play this game anymore as I get into this career fight.
Here we go.
Kind of show you some of the stuff. I like the bob and weave system.
These fighters, of course, do not like each other. They have said they will try to just focus on their skills and letting their skills take over. Easier said than done, of course, when you're sharing the octagon with someone who you have such legitimate disdain for. Oh, he gets tagged again.
He does a really poor job of aiming those punches.
And he connects there. All right, here we go. First round is underway. You know the wrestler's going to go for the takedown attempts early and often tonight. Has to get this fight to the ground to try to employ his ground and pound style. Should have the advantage there if he can get the fight to the canvas.
Tags him. Doing a good job timing his shots here and landing a great series of punches. Nice. They're going after it quick here. That cut on his cheek is getting worse.
See, he's pretty cut up.
That one hurt. Hit him hard with that hook.
Hook there, Joe.
Big body shot to the body. Another hard hook lands. He hurt him with that hook.
Hopefully I can show you what I'm talking about right here.
Right back up to his feet. Oh, he got tagged with the right
That
hand
right there does not do very much damage for whatever reason. It looked like he may not have landed that one.
He just whips that punch in.
Well, he got clipped to the body there, Joe. Left his midsection wide open. He's become a little bit susceptible to that shot by almost
I haven't even thrown body
moving
shots.
into his opponent's offense. Not a good look there.
Oh, nice body shot.
And both guys really throwing with authority.
See, if you notice,
Engaging in the clinch here, Joe.
my strikes are not really doing the damage that they were before anymore. Like strikes to the head, it almost looks like they're rigging it or something.
Back up to his feet.
That right there hardly does any damage, and it starts to feel like the game is rigged sometimes. Like they're trying to keep you from winning certain fights or winning certain ways by taking away the damage. Like you'll be doing stuff, and then all of a sudden you'll notice it's not damaging the opponent much at all. It's just kind of just barely making a difference.
Really swung for the fences with that hook, but misses.
I really do not like the way they throw those hooks.
To work on the inside of that lead leg.
It doesn't really look that realistic.
Punch coming, it's blocked. Oh, how good is that jab? Snaps it off yet again here.
Excellent takedown defense.
It's like every time I play this fight, when I reset it and try again, it goes exactly the same way. I start off hitting with heavy shots, and then all of a sudden, his moves don't do any damage anymore.
He pummels here, and now he's got double underhooks. Over, under now in the clinch.
And they move out of the clinch.
And he connects with the punch there.
They may very well
see, if you notice the punches to the head, they kind of, when it gets low, you can't land them anymore.
Some nice back and forth action here.
You can do damage, but they do a good job of keeping him in this fight for the first round.
He left the body wide open there, Joe. He's vulnerable to that straight punch. If he's going to move forward and keep his body and his head on that center line, he's going to pay for it. He certainly did there. Now he goes for the single leg. Oh, that's some takedown defense, Joe Rogan. Tried to go for the single leg, not there. Under a minute to go in the round. That strike will count. Oh, left hook to the head, it's blocked. Lands a punch there, Joe.
Trying to
The
get an
transition
advantage
in
here
this game,
clinch.
I think, is pretty good. I don't have an issue with that.
Nice shot to the body there.
I think they kind of have that down. But this fight
And
right
lands a
here,
good shot.
I'm going to lose by
Oh!
a submission armbar.
Beautiful technique on the straight right hand.
As you can see,
Timely defense there. Huge block
I can't
for
really
him.
damage his head anymore.
Nice shot.
Look how weak these
Now makes
punches
a run
are.
into the body.
Oh!
He can only, like, once they get too low, you can't land anything else.
See what happens.
Because they're doing a good job of making sure he makes it to a certain point in this fight. And it's not that the game is rigged to the point where it's rigging for a certain exact result, but they rig it so that you can't win it a certain
Here's a
way.
nice shot, lands
I would
perfectly.
much prefer them to just make his defense better than to do it like that, where it's like,
And big
okay,
round.
now he can't land punches because his head energy's low and they can't have him getting knocked out. I would much prefer him to just be
Good to
better
have Brazil's
defensively
Jenny Andrade in the
and
building
make me
here.
miss those punches or block those punches more than to do it the way they do it in this game. To increase the difficulty factor, they just kind of make your character not do as well
All right, second
instead of
round
making the
underway.
opponent better
Now,
defensively.
starting
I've seen
off
some
this round,
sport
he
games
might
do
still
that.
be hurt. He's gonna
I've
wanna
seen
look to be
Madden do that a few
defensive
times.
and move and avoid
Not
getting
any
hit
newer
and try
Maddens,
to
but
recover.
some of the older ones.
Oh, he lands another strike to the body here. He's really starting to connect, Joe, on a lot of these strikes to the midsection. Well, without much resistance, he continues to find a home for that jab, much like he did in the previous round. Oh, and he connects there. How about that chin?
That's a
Hook is
hard
there
hook.
again.
See, I can get his head energy
Oh,
really
straight
low,
right.
but once that happens,
Oh!
Well, this is a decorated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, but this is not a BJJ tournament, ladies and
I don't
gentlemen.
land.
This is mixed martial arts, and to that end, he has switched camps in advance of this fight tonight. He has aligned himself with one of the better
not
striking
good to go
gyms in
for
the game,
takedowns
and almost immediately,
when he's that
his
close to the
coaches say
fence.
his striking got to a different
Like I
level.
said, I
Now
do like the
octagon door is
transitional stuff in this
closed.
game.
Let's see what type of improvements he made.
I like it a lot. See, that takedown right there, it just looks identical every time it's done.
Good punch.
Wow, that cut on his brow is looking
Look how
pretty bad, Joe.
consistently
They might
he's
call in the
landing these.
doctor here.
How is that not a stoppage? Because they're
Excellent
rigging it to the
movement on
point where
ground here.
they don't want me to
Constantly
win
moving,
like
constantly
that.
staying busy
So they're not going to stop it.
and back up to his feet.
That right there should have done a lot of damage, but look at his head damage. Look at that. It's
Well,
barely
he has landed
anything.
some
It
good
was his
shots
head
tonight,
damage
Joe,
was like
but as
full.
yet, he has been unable to string together any solid combinations, and that has served to keep
For
his
some
opponent
reason,
in this
they
fight.
made
So
this
let's
game
see
where it's
if
like-
he can change up the tempo a little bit with his strikes and try to put together a combination that is more damaging.
If
to
opponent
his
is downed
Oh, and he continues to effectively employ
and you
that
lunge
jab.
him like that, that might be the
Faking
most
with the punch.
effective punches
Landing a good series of
in a
strikes
game.
here.
But I noticed in
Yeah,
this
here he
game,
goes again.
that is not very effective at all.
And back up again. Tagged him with the right hand.
Look at his head damage. Look at that. It's almost
Nice
full
hammer
because
kick.
they're rigging the game to make it so that they
Back
get
up
a
to
certain
his feet
result.
again.
Look at his head. Look. That should be almost empty by now. Especially with him doing it so many times.
Big shot from the bottom.
And we have passed the midpoint of the fight. Oh, nice job working hard, posting, and getting back up.
This
Well,
game
his
has so
corner
many
was pretty
problems.
urgent after round one, a little bit lackluster there in that opening round. He has certainly picked up the pace here, and as a result, he has taken control of this second round.
I don't know if you disagree with anything I'm saying. Just let me know in the comments.
Oh, how did he...
But this game does a lot of that. They start
Oh,
assisting the opponent.
Another huge
They
right.
start. See, his head energy's low now,
Oh, he lands a huge right hand.
but I'm not gonna be able to knock him out. Oh, yes I am.
Oh, huge right hand.
What?
Back to his feet again.
Are you kidding me? No matter what I do, I cannot knock him out in the second round in
Big straight punch.
this particular
Nice
fight.
defense on the single leg takedown. You can tell he's worked on that.
Oh. Big
Looks
shot
like
to
he
the head. He's
lost time
hurt.
a little bit.
He is
It's like
clearly in big trouble
It's like when they
here.
want you.
Powerful
I feel
right
like when they
hand.
want you to
might be
lose, they just do anything. maybe they don't want you to lose, but they just want the fight to be more competitive or just want to last to a certain point. There was no way that wouldn't have been a stoppage. That is absolutely crazy.
Going for the single leg now.
But they do that in this game.
Secures the takedown.
He's back up to his feet. Caught him with a punch.
Look at that. Look at his head damage.
Oh, that cut has really opened up now, Joe.
Look at that, man.
Guillotine attempt now looks as though he's got the neck.
And then I'll probably tap out from this.
The tight guillotine. That is a tight guillotine.
Because every time I try this fight, I tap out in the second round. Every time, no matter how many times I try it. They rig it so that I do not knock him out. If you look at this fight closely, you can see
his guillotine is nasty.
that there's no way that fight made any logical sense. When you look at all the stoppages and all the lack of head damage, this game right here, this is not a very good game. This game is really messed up. And if you look at the fight that I just had, and you look at the stuff I'm saying about the head damage, all that type of stuff, then you cannot tell me that this game is not messed up. It's screwed up. They want you to win certain fights,